there is a ton of fear around cryptocurrency, around Bitcoin, around the altcoins. People are saying the bull run is over, we're going back down, it's the end of the world, and this is actually really a bullish thing. So in this video, we're going to look at how the sentiment completely flipped in the last week or two, and how that is actually a really bullish thing, and how I think that's going to allow us to go a lot higher in the next couple months, maybe even in the next couple weeks. What's up guys, Dirk here from intelligentcryptocurrency.com. If you are new to the channel, subscribe below, click the notification bell so you do get updates whenever I upload a new video. And if you want me to send you an email every time I upload a video, because sometimes that's easier to keep track of it all, click on the first link in the description below. Sign up for my free cryptocurrency masterclass, that way you get on my email list too, and that way I can send you an email every time I publish a new video. Alright, so as you can see right now, it is Monday, it is April 26th, and the fear and greed index is just, we're at fear. You can see here, we're at 27, and we went from literally last month, greed, last week even, being at greed, to the market dropping, everyone getting incredibly fearful, saying the bull market is over, and so on and so forth, and now we're seeing that fear. And I think one of the big reasons also is that we had a larger sell-off than most people kind of expected. We actually dropped down and closed below the 50 exponential moving average, which a lot of people, including myself, have been watching as kind of an indicator of the bull run. And they're like looking at it, it could have been possible that if we stayed above it, we would have just continued this parabolic move, and going below it might have been bad. But again, there's a lot of volatility, there's a lot of chop and a lot of shakeouts in this market for that exact reason, because if it was easy and everyone could get rich, well, that's just not the case. So the reality is the market tries and shakes out as many people as possible all the time. That means longs, that means shorts, that means people are entering the market too late, who are FOMO buying tops. We see 20-30% drops. Those people panic sell. They buy high, they sell low. I hope that's not what you're doing. That's why you need to be subscribed to this channel, or be a member even of my intelligent cryptocurrency community, because we talk about this stuff. It is about the long term. We're not here to react to markets. We have a plan. We get in with risk capital, right? So you have your allocation, and the volatility, even if there are 30, 40, 50% drops, it shouldn't stress you out. If that is freaking you out, you can't sleep at night, you're glued to your screen, all that kind of stuff, that means you are overexposed. It means you have too much leverage, or you shouldn't be using leverage at all, really, if you don't know what you're doing. And that's why, if you control all of that and you have a plan, these shakeouts, while they are annoying in the short term, they shouldn't be able to get you to panic sell and react to the markets. Okay, so what we're seeing is this drop lately has just shaken out a lot of people. A lot of people have sold, they've got into tether, they've taken losses. A lot of people obviously got liquidated on their long positions because the market has pulled back. Now what we're seeing, and this is a good thing, because as Warren Buffett says, buy when people are fearful, sell when people are greedy, something along those lines. Basically, the crowd tends to always be wrong when the majority feel that the market is going to move in a certain way. So if the market is all super long and super bullish, we get these big dumps. And when the market is incredibly fearful, it's usually near the lows, meaning that everyone is selling, everyone is scared, and that's when it does the exact opposite. A lot of people even take short positions. We're at $52,000 right now. We dropped to 47,000. People are talking about 43. We're gonna get 41, 38,000, and maybe we will still get that. Maybe we still get another leg down. But in the meantime, people are taking short positions, leverage short positions, and now, we're starting to see the market come back up again. So what we're seeing here also, the crypto fear and greed index is about to drop to 30 for the first time since April 2020. So what we're seeing is levels in the crypto market where the fear is so big. It was literally not this big since that huge crash last year in March 2020, right? So you can see everyone is very, very fearful, saying, hey, the bull market is going to end. And this is a really good thing, because it means that now that things are resetting and these indicators are resetting and the fear sentiment is here, it means this bull run can still continue for maybe till the end of the year, for another 6 months. Again, moving through the cycles of fear and greed, as we start moving higher, there will be these shakeouts. It will continue 20, 30, 40% drops, especially in altcoins too. But as it continues going higher, this allows the bull run to continue, because it allows these indicators to come down from their overbought conditions, and it just allows us to continue. So it's actually a really, really healthy thing. You can see over here, Puell is saying Bitcoin is nearly as oversold as it was in March 2020. That is looking at the RSI on a daily period. And you can see it hasn't been this low since March 2020. And again, that is a really good thing, because that allows the indicators to reset. We're chilling around $50,000 for Bitcoin. We've had a massive reset in all the indicators. And basically this means we're kind of at a base here around this $50,000 level. And this allows us to move higher and potentially take that step towards that $100,000 Bitcoin level and beyond. Now, another thing to keep track of also is that when these dips happen, what tends to happen is that the retail investors and the smaller people tend to sell and panic sell while the big boys are buying. And you can see over here, so whales are buying the dip. You can see this whale alert, 1,440 Bitcoin, which is $71 million transferred from Coinbase to unknown wallet. So what tends to happen also is the big players, the institutional guys, the funds, they tend to use Coinbase to buy these large purchases. So while people are basically selling and panic selling, and the retail investors who come in here and buy it 60,000, 65,000 and watch it drop to 47, they're panic selling, and the big boys are scooping up more cheap Bitcoin. You can see over here, that's exactly what this shows too. So the younger, inexperienced wallets, so newly created wallets, which is usually the new retail money, the latecomers that have joined in the last, maybe even the last couple of months, last couple of weeks, they are selling. While the older wallets, the ones that have been around for a long time, that understand this game, they're actually accumulating in these dips. And what does that mean? Well, that means very likely that there is further upside to go, and the inexperienced, the paper hands, the weak hands, whatever you want to call them, they're basically getting shaken out. They bought high, they sold low, getting shaken out. They'll probably do the same thing. They'll keep buying in high. Every time they get shaken out, drops 20, 30%, they panic sell, and basically they end up losing all their money or donating all their money to the whales and people who understand the game. You can see so many of these indicators are all looking really, really positive right now. So the futures perpetual funding rate, so the people taking positions on margin, the funding rates are now negative. So now if you actually take a long position, this is how fearful people are. They're so scared that basically and set on the markets continuing to go down, that now it's actually profitable to take out a long position on leverage, and the funding actually pays you for holding a long position open. And that is usually a very, very good sign, because it means the market sentiment is completely flipped. People are expecting more downside, and sure, we might still actually get some more downside, but usually it means that there's a lot of people betting in the opposite direction, which is now down, which makes the conditions perfect for another big squeeze to the upside to liquidate all those leveraged short positions this time. And a very cool thing to see in the larger picture, this is always important to keep an eye on, because we are continuing to look at the larger picture. Okay, we're not worried about the day-to-day stuff. We're not even too concerned about finding the next 100x coin. Of course, we try and we look for those, but basically the main thing is, if you can accurately judge the larger cycle and the bull run, and you're able to ride that wave as much as possible, most coins are going to go up in some way. And whether it's 2x or 5x or 10x, as long as that bull run is continuing and the money continues to flow, most of the market is going to move higher. So it's going to be profitable to ride that bull run up as far as possible. And the way we can look at that is we keep looking at the previous cycles. And you can see over here, the previous bull markets over here measured in days, the days since 100% recovery of previous all-time high till 70% drop after new all-time high. You can see the previous cycles. So this is 2017, the yellow is 2013, and we are right now at the pink. And you can see exactly at this area, the previous 2 cycles also experienced a pretty decent correction, and we just had this correction right on time. So of course there's no guarantees, but so far this cycle has been pretty similar to previous cycles. So if this correction is over, that means we are in for another leg up, and we still have that parabolic move to come, and that could still take multiple months. It could still run till the end of the year, because you can see over here, if this were to continue till the high, that means we still have about 130, 140 days, which might still be around, 4 or 5 months. And like I said, now that we had this correction, the indicators reset. So it's very possible that this bull run still continues for multiple months, and that we are still going to go way higher. Another thing also, what I'm noticing is a lot of people are very bearish, not just based on the sentiment, but if you look at a lot of these influencers, a lot of the YouTubers, a lot of the people on social media, I'm starting to see a lot more people starting to call the end of the bull run and starting to say, hey, it's over, guys. And a lot of these people have been around since 2017, so they have a bit of bear market PTSD, what we joke about as it is, because we had that huge 90% drop, or 99% in many altcoins for the last 3 years, where we had that massive bear market, and people are fearful that's going to happen again. So I think a lot of people are overly cautious in some way. And there's a lot of people who are going to be selling, at a small profit or at break even after holding through the bear market for the last 3 years, and they're finally happy they're in a little bit of profit. Once those previous sellers get shaken out and they've sold their bags, I think there's a good chance we can actually go a lot higher and get some sort of insane parabolic move later in the year. Now, I can't guarantee that, I can't see the future, but I think there's a decent possibility that's going to happen. Again, spent output profit ratio, another way of looking at things. It has been fully reset. You can see it hasn't been to that level since late February. And again, this person's prediction, hey, Bitcoin is going to take another leg up somewhere in the $70,000 level. That seems like a reasonable target if we do get another leg up and new all-time highs for Bitcoin. Here's another one, futures perpetual funding rate. Again, similar to what I showed you just now. But the greed has been flushed out. The leveraged longs have been liquidated. People have been taken out. So the resets and funding rates have been a good gauge of market sentiment. Usually when the market is most hesitant to go long is the best time to go long in bull markets. We are very close to a bottom. This was posted 3 days ago. We can look at some more charts like the Puell multiple. You can see that came down quite a bit, and we are nowhere near being in the red zone over here, which have marked previous bull market tops in 2013 and in 2017. In fact, we didn't even get into that red band. Now we've come down quite a bit, which again leaves more room to the upside. It's not a guarantee, there are no guarantees, but this does leave more room for upside versus if it was already in that red band, well then it's unlikely that there still is a huge amount of upside. So this again gives us more room. You can see it did the same thing over here in the later stages of this 2017 run, where we got to a similar level over here, but we had a lot of consolidation while the price kept going higher. So as long as it hangs around here and it hovers around here, the price can continue to go higher. And then only once we start getting into this red zone, like the previous bull market tops, that's when I think we should start getting cautious, removing initial, taking big profits off the table. Stock to flow model is still perfectly on track. There's absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. We can hang around a little bit, but we should get that overshoot at some point before the bull run is done, which means we should be looking at over $100,000 per Bitcoin before the bull run is done, and hopefully that is going to be this year. Here's another chart, the Bitcoin Investor Tool, the 2-year MA multiplier. Again, that's also come down, so you can see in the blow-off phases we go above the red resistance band. We have not, we are bouncing off it, and you can see in 2017 it bounced off it a couple times, meaning the price kept on going higher before we eventually broke out above it. And again, it's the same thing. As long as we're bouncing up against it, it means we still have time and price to go for Bitcoin. And only once we start getting above the upper red band over here, that we should start being cautious and looking at a potential top. But for now, the potential is still here for this to go a lot higher. So let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin chart over here. So we're currently just under $52,000. And as you can see, like I showed you with Puell, with his tweet, the RSI, the relative strength index on the daily Bitcoin chart, has not been this low since March 2020. So since that huge crash last year, before the whole crisis started, we're basically looking at the lowest levels on the RSI at $52,000 Bitcoin. So that is a really good thing. Does it mean that the low is in? No, not necessarily. We could still go lower. As you can see, the RSI has been lower, but this was at the end, the capitulation of the bear market, right? And even here, this was a huge phenomenal sell-off. Those are basically two exceptions. So we're pretty low at this point in the RSI, which again is a good thing because that means we have a lot of room to move to the upside, and it might have cleared this negative divergence that we saw, right? So in hindsight, of course, it's very easy to say that this divergence was the one where we needed to get out. Divergences are usually good indicators, right? And they tend to work a high percentage of the time. So always keep an eye out for that. But you can see we had this negative divergence, we had the sell-off. So now this means that this divergence has kind of been cleared out. And once this finds its bottom and it starts moving up, then the indicators have been reset, and we can hopefully start moving up towards new highs, hopefully next month, you know, in May or in June. I'll do another update as soon as the monthly candle closes, which is in another 4 days from now. So then we can see, you know, at what level did the monthly candle close and how does it look for the month ahead. You know, I always do those videos on the first of the month, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Now, one thing that caused so much fear is, you know, a lot of people are watching this 50 EMA, and it's held as support in the previous pullback, the previous pullback, the previous pullback, and this time we dropped under it and we actually closed under it, which I think created a lot of fear in saying, hey, this time the bull run is over. But not necessarily at all. Technically, the bull run is not over. Technically, there's nothing that has changed the bull market at this point in time. You can see we're still above the previous top over here. We're actually still at a higher low right now than this level over here. So even if we were to drop back to the 200, right, which is currently just under $40,000, we could still be in a bull run and there would still be nothing wrong with this. So I know people are getting a lot of fear, you know, and they're really feeling like this, but I really think the bull market is still perfectly healthy. This is a really good correction, flushed out a lot of pretty much all of the leveraged longs that we had that were insanely bullish. Sentiment has come down a lot. So once this finds its bottom, I think we'll see a new high. Now, where will that bottom be? I don't know. Maybe the bottom is in. You can see over here, it actually held on the 100. So that's usually what happens in the bull run. So when it drops past the 50 and the 50 doesn't hold, goes to the 100. If the 100 drops, you know, the real line in the sand is basically the 200 moving average. If it drops below the 200 moving average and closes below that on the daily, you know, most people are watching that. If that happens, there's a good chance we're entering into bear market territory. As long as we're still above the 200 and even better above the 100, then, you know, we're still in part of this bull run. Now, another thing that a lot of people are watching is the 20 moving average or the 21 moving average, exponential or simple. It doesn't really matter too much. They're similar enough, where you can see this is also a good indicator on the weekly chart that people watch for, you know, bull market support. And you can see in the 2017 bull run, so if we zoom in on that, this is just the 20 moving average over here, normal simple moving average. But you can see how the whole bull run, it basically held support over here, over here, over here, and then once we finally broke below it, well, that was, we already pulled back quite a bit, but once we broke below it, it acted as resistance, and then, you know, we had multiple year bear market. So same thing over here in the current bull run. You can see it's held as support over here, and we haven't touched it since, and we are moving closer towards that. Now, some people seem to think, hey, we're going to go a bit lower still, which is definitely a possibility. But again, when too many people expect something and everyone's expecting Bitcoin to drop further to hit that 20 moving average or 21 moving average, usually it just doesn't quite get there. And the thing is, even though we haven't touched it yet, this moving average is obviously moving higher every single day, every single week. So if we were to reverse just here where we already went and 47,000 is the low, as it moves higher, over time the moving average will actually end up touching that level, and then it will look like we actually pulled back to the 21 moving average, even though in real time we didn't quite get there where it is today. Because you can see where it is today, it's around 45,500, but every single day, every week, that moves higher, meaning that if we were to just run straight back up into $70,000 level, again, this moving average would continue to move higher, and over time it's probably going to look like exactly what it did over here, is that it just ended up touching it, while, like I said, in real time, it didn't quite get there yet. So overall, my conclusion after showing you all of this is basically that the sentiment is very, very negative, which is usually a good contrarian thing, because when everyone is betting on one direction, just like everyone was super greedy a week or two ago, we had this massive reversal in the trend and all those people got wrecked. And now that everyone is super bearish, well, there's a decent chance that the market is once again going to prove them wrong, and we're going to reverse and go back up. So again, is there further downside possible? Yes, there is. But I think at this point in time, there is a limit to the downside, and it is more likely that this bull run is going to continue for a longer period of time, and maybe for multiple months still. So I think we're in a really good position. I think all this fear is going to end up producing a really good buying opportunity. And I think that in a few weeks or a few months from now, we're going to end up seeing higher prices for Bitcoin and for altcoins. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification bell. Get on my email list, because I can send you these updates when it is important. You know, if you just get the YouTube notifications, you might miss it. When you get an email, you're more likely to get the update. So first link in the description below. Sign up for my free masterclass. And if you do want more guidance, if you want support, if you don't want to do this alone, come and join my intelligent cryptocurrency community. It is an all-inclusive package that includes education, research, community, and support. So once you're in there, you get access to the members area. There's courses in there, beginner's course, there's a TA and trading course, there's more tutorials, and every single month I publish a newsletter. It's a 30-page report with my insights, market updates, important information, and research into a new coin project that I think has high potential. And then obviously besides that, a huge benefit is that you get to be in our private Discord group. There's over 700 people from all around the world invested in crypto, from all backgrounds, all nationalities, all ages, all different types of investments, small to large. And you know, just being in a group like that and being able to ask questions, get real-time support. I'm in there too every single day. I try and answer as many questions as possible. So if you want that support and you want that guidance, come and join Intelligent Cryptocurrency. You can either sign up for the masterclass, first link in the description below, and I'll give you all that info in the masterclass. But if you just want to skip that and you want to go straight and sign up, the second link in the description below, you can join Intelligent Cryptocurrency, instantly get access to everything. So come and join us, come and hang out with us. Thanks for watching, subscribe, like, share, and I will see you in the next video.